that this month, of course, we're dealing with the theme of the possibility of the impossible. All things are possible with God. All things are possible with God consciousness. This particular theme leads us to a greater awareness that as a spiritual adept, and this is how I am considering you, spiritual student, a lifelong learner of yourself, exploring the dimensions of your own being, heretofore undiscovered, unactivated, you as an infinite expression of the great spirit of the living God, that as an explorer of the infinite within you, your realm, our realm, is the realm of the impossible. Our realm is not merely to live in the logical, rational world. Our realm is not merely to live in the practical. All those things are definitely necessary in 3 dimensions, absolutely. But as a spiritual adept, your role is to live in what the world would call impossible. That is outside of your present paradigm, outside of the status quo paradigm, to live in realms beyond what we've ever discovered or lived before. This is where you begin. To live life in the realm of what is possible is to coast in your incarnation. It is just to coast within the vibratory frequency of the status quo, what has already been laid down before you got here, which is absolutely what you see is really an artifact of a previously held point of view. What you see is called the past, and you are operating in the present moment, but dealing with the past, that which is already congealed and coagulated as the world of appearances, as society, as civilizations, as things that are going on in the world. But that's not where you live. You live in the realm of the impossible, that which hasn't happened yet, and perhaps in the minds of many could never happen. This is how you establish yourself on a daily basis. And as we indicated last week in looking at Lewis Carroll's classic Alice in Wonderland, where the queen challenged Alice to begin to dream at least 5 impossible dreams before breakfast. This is where you want to live. What does that do for you? It takes where you are right now, your paradigm, which means way of thinking, which means way of perceiving, which then produces, it obtains thought forms that then obtain experiences based on the paradigm in which you are living. To live in the realm of the impossible begins to act like a strange attractor field that draws thought forms into your awareness of that which is becoming, that which is to become, that which hasn't yet manifested before. It's tapping into that divine mind and allowing for the creativity of your soul and allowing for the essence of your being to begin to escape in ways that challenge your present paradigm and sometimes bring you to your knees in fear based on what you are becoming and what you have to overcome in order to allow the impossible to manifest in your life. We want you to begin to think all along this month, we want you to begin to think dreams that appear to be impossible as a starting point before you go out of your house in the morning. What's impossible? What's impossible for you? What seems to be impossible for the world? When you look at the artifact of previously held thoughts of racism and bigotry and injustice, and you look at the world and how it's rolling with homelessness, how it's rolling with lack and limitation, that belief, that thought form of lack and limitation and not enoughness, and what impossible dream that can be translated into a powerful vision can you begin to be pulled by on a regular basis as a spiritual being. The beautiful thing about how the law works is you don't have to know how to do all of these things. No, that's what prevents people from making moves sometimes, because the ego would jump in and throw in a how-to question. Well, how do you do it? That's called the delay tactic by the ego to keep you in your present paradigm. You don't have to know how, you have to know what. When you begin to dream a what, begin to dream a higher level of being, then the how-tos will find you. And you'll find yourself being pulled by a vision and then compelled into right action. And then you'll look back and see that it took that many steps and that many gyrations and that many movements to bring about a manifestations. Then when you write your how-to book, you write down the steps that you did. But here's the trick. It only works for you. I'm giving away secrets here, but how-to books don't work. They inspire, they encourage, but they only work for the person that's writing the book. You got to find your own how-to by doing what they did. tapping into that divine presence, that sense of oneness within your own life, and then allow the presence and the power and the love of God to guide you along the way, using the same principles that other people have used, but then those same principles have you doing your dance the way that you would do it. So I want you to begin to think about the possibility of the impossible in your life, and begin to use that as a point of reference for your prayer, for your meditation, for your contemplation, for your meditation, and then watch what begins to happen. And you'll bump into the awareness that originality is your causality, and you're being asked to be free. That you are an original idea held in the mind of God. Originality must be your causality, not heredity. Originality must be your causality, not the world of appearances. Originality must be your causality, not your birthplace in your family. Originality must be your causality, not where you were born, not merely the experiences that you had, not even your past life cannot be your causality. The causality is your originality as an original being. You are an original spiritual idea held in the mind and heart of the infinite, and you have meaning. You have significance, you matter, because the Spirit of the living God, this vast presence that is everywhere in its fullness, mind you, never does a meaningless act. Everything that cascades out of the heart mind of infinite has significance, has meaning. So your life as an original spiritual idea has meaning, of which you are to explore and then begin to set free. So when you understand that you are an original, not a copy, you're not a stepped down version of anything, that you can begin to sidestep the tributaries of comparison. You sidestep the tributaries of operating on how you think other people are thinking about you. And you begin to see yourself as an original, singular manifestation of a cosmic unfolding directly connected to the presence of God, affirming as an original you are open and receptive to divine ideas flowing through you in such a way that you can see through the world of appearances as an artifact of previously held points of view. Then you will stand in an awareness of your strength and the vitalizing frequency of the Spirit of the living God, and the world of appearances will touch you less and less as your frequency begins to vibrate in the dimension and in the realm of the unseen, in the dimension and in the realm of the invisible, in the dimension and in the realm of that which has not yet manifested, because you haven't become totally you yet. And as you do, it begins to download, it begins to outpicture, it begins to cascade from the invisible to the visible. You see here, we talk about different environments. We're talking about different atmospheres as being important. We have to talk about the climate. We talk about so much, but we don't talk about the ideasphere enough. It is the ideasphere that's the most important atmosphere, because ideas move the world. Ideas move your world. Ideas move the entire world. And when you begin to inject into the ideasphere of humanity divine ideas, not copycats, divine ideas, not merely reaction to the world of appearances, but divine ideas, then you become a great world weaver of the next level of human unfolding. You then become a history maker rather than becoming history. You make history. Now the issue is most people are content to be a consumer of ideas rather than a generator of ideas. They rather consume ideas and then regurgitate them and shift them up a bit without having any real thinking on their own. Real thinking is going into the realm of the infinite, catching a new idea and articulating it as only you can, and then allowing that articulation to be a part of your conversation and then ultimately be a part of your action. But most people are lazy. They just consume ideas. I want you to know something here. You did not arrive here on planet Earth to become a consumer. Now, you may think you've been hypnotized temporarily by the high-tech, low-touch society at times. You may have been hypnotized by a consumer-driven media, materialism. But you didn't come here for that. You didn't come here to consume. You came here to be a generator of ideas, tapping into divine mind and affirming with gusto that you are at one with the power and the presence and the love of God until that dynamic becomes the dynamic of your awareness. You see through the world of appearances, and you see through the malicious hypnotism. You see through the debris and the debris, the pollutant in the ideic fear. The idea is fear. You see the pollutant through the pollutants. You're not caught up by it anymore. Now, when you're not thinking for yourself, something is thinking for you. When you're not thinking for yourself, then you become easy prey to the malicious hypnotism that moves through our media. And next thing you know, you have a fear that doesn't even belong to you. You're walking in worry, and it's not even your worry. You're walking in emotionality, and it's not yours. It's something that's being conveyed by malicious hypnotism. And then in a few moments, you're going to get some kind of pill to alleviate the fear that's being created by the malicious hypnotism of showing you the worst case scenarios of the human consciousness. There's so much for you to see beyond that. The presence and the power and the love of God is hiding in plain sight right now. Your body can heal anything. The presence and the love of God is hiding in plain sight right now. We live in a field of abundance and plenitude. The presence of God is right here and right now in its fullness. Divine ideas are seeking to cascade out of nothing into the very somethingness of your life. The presence of God in its totality is right here and right now. All that you need is within you. The presence of God in its totality is right here and right now. There is so much good seeking to emerge by means of you, but you have to go in and actually align yourself as an original thinker in the infinite mind, divine mind, infinite heart, divine mind, an original thinker, so that you can catch it. As I've said over the years, this stuff can't be taught, but it can be caught in consciousness. And that is, you catch it. You catch the idea, and you marinate on it. You cogitate, you contemplate, you meditate until that idea begins to formulate itself in you. Starts to take over. It doesn't have to be world shaking, but it will be injected into the idea sphere that will move the world forward. I want you to catch this. That's why you came here. You did not come to be lazy and to capitulate to the status quo or to be a consumer of old ideas. I mean, look at the history books, fraught with lies. Look at religion, fraught with lies. You didn't come here to consume all of that. You came to catch it directly, so that you can be an inlet and a great outlet for the power and the presence and the love. So when you walk in the world, you have your priorities straight. Listen, there's a couple of things I want to bounce through here, but let me just I'm only one. Okay. Listen, when you walk through the world, you have to have your priorities straight, okay? So the first thing you do is you have to connect consciously with divine mind. You have to say to yourself on a regular basis, my life is the life of the divine. I'm connected to divine mind, new and original, fresh ideas, feeling tones, powers and possibilities flow through me with an ease, a grace, and a dignity. I fall in love with the presence. The presence is love. The presence is loving me. You enter into a state of devotion which transcends the ego, and you become impervious to the lower frequencies of life. Then you support the acclamation of these divine ideas and the cosmic energy flowing through you with proper nutrition. You end up eating living foods that allow for your body temple to acclimate to higher and higher frequencies, so that when the encounters happen and when the divine ideas take place, they don't get sloughed off. Many people aren't ready to receive the prayer that that they're praying for because they can't hold the energy of it, you see? And so your right nutrition and then puts you closer to the frequency and to the vibration of being able to hold the idea and to hold the presence, and it ratchets it up higher and higher and higher, and you can hold more and more wattage, more and more energy, and then you walk the body, you take care of the body, temple, you exercise it, you do what you need to do to assimilate the nutrition that you have just taken into the body temple, you see. Then you cleanse the body temple. You cleanse it inside and out. You stop eating for 12 hours every now and then, or you do a fast. You cleanse it out so that the body temple can have a reset on a regular basis. You cleanse it on the outside. You've heard ad nauseum to wash your hands on a regular basis, particularly during this particular period of time. You do that. You do the cleansing. You do the washing. You do all of that. And then, the mask discussion is up for discussion, and you wear your mask. The mask, of course, allows for you to keep out droplets from people that may sneeze on you, they may cough on you. Not just on you on purpose, but I mean they may cough, and then the droplet may enter into your nose or into your mouth, that type of thing. But you are aware, of course, and I know you've studied this, that the mask cannot prevent the virus from entering in because the virus is too small. A mask doesn't help at that level, but the mask does a prophylactic generator. It serves as a prophylactic generator, which means that your belief that you're being protected protects you. It's the placebo effect. So when you wear it and you feel protected, then you become protected by the feeling that you're carrying that you are protected. In other words, you put it on and you feel impervious. Yeah, the virus can't get me. The virus goes in, but your immune system becomes heightened by the feeling tone and the belief that you're holding. And yes, you've protected yourself against droplets and sneezes and coughs and things of that particular nature, which is a good thing, but your own immune system, based on your belief and the prophylactic generator, by putting it on, allows you to be safer than you would be without that belief, you see? And so therefore you are becoming a metaphysician whether you like it or not. You are stepping up into an ever-increasing awareness that life is for you. Life is for you. Hear all of this. Hear it again. Hear this again. Our realm is the realm of the impossible. You look at all the great movements of the global society, from Renaissance to voting rights to so many things that have occurred at the time. Many of those things, many of the pioneers of those possible things, which were impossible at the time, and the old paradigm was entrenched. Yet, we are living in a world today that's vastly more improved than it used to be. Still got a tremendous lot of work, absolutely. Somebody lived in the realm of what many people thought was impossible. That's where you live. Impossible. What's impossible for you right now? What do you think? Where have you shut yourself off? Some of you are saying, well, I'm really too old to learn how to play the fill in the blank. I'm really too old to dance. I'm really too old to take up some kind of hobby. I'm really too old to start a business. I'm really too old to, and then you fill in the blank there. You have relegated yourself to coasting an incarnation until you die. No. If you're still here, you got work to do. Now, how do you know you got work to do? You just take out a small mirror. That's all you do. You just put your nose in front of it. If it fogs up, you got work to do, buddy. Is this work? You see? And you have to start with what appears to be impossible for me right now. Now, here's the great law is that you don't have to know how to do any of this. You just have to know what it is. And if you embrace the what it is, the how-to will follow you. It'll be compelling right action in your life experience. It'll pull you into right action. Oh my God. Take a breath with me right here. Hear this. You are an original. Originality must be your causality, not the appearance world. I remember teaching a class, and there was a gentleman in the class here at Agape, and he was a triplet. And whenever he would stand up to share, he would always use the word we. Well, we had this insight, we did this, we had that experience. And I said, why are you using the word we? He says, I got two brothers, we're triplets. I said, listen, presence of God sees you as a singular manifestation of a cosmic unfolding. Your mother and father may have dressed you alike, seen you the same, but you have a direct encounter with the presence. You are not merely the son or daughter of your parents. You're not merely a brother, even though that's a beautiful thing. We're not denigrating brotherhood and sisterhood and family and siblings and uncles and aunts. We love that. It's a sweet thing. I love my family. But as the Spirit of the living God knows you, the Spirit of the living God knows you as an offspring of itself. A divine and perfect pattern of love and beauty and intelligence. And so, as an original idea, you have to stop. You have to stop and begin your day with, I'm not going out to react to circumstances, the world of appearances. I'm not merely an aunt or an uncle. I am an original idea. I draw direct ideas from the mind, heart of the infinite. And then my unclehood, my fatherhood, my motherhood, my brotherhood is infused with that love, but it is a secondary identity, a temporary, beautiful, wonderful identity. But you have now joined with your real identity as I'm speaking to you right now. Say to yourself in substance, I am a singular manifestation of a cosmic unfolding. I am a singular manifestation of a cosmic unfolding. I am a singular manifestation of a cosmic unfolding. I am a cosmic unfolding. And you are tapping into and connecting to the presence, divine mind, heart. And then the world of appearances starts to lose its power over you. This is where you want to live. And it's so necessary now because there are forces that want to keep you in fear. There are forces that want to keep you in worry. There are forces that want to keep you in a sense of separation, that don't want to see you empowered. There are forces that want to see you in hate and animosity and resentment. You become powerless when you're in that. There are forces that want to keep you in your myopic position as slaves to another agenda. But when you see yourself as an original, not a stepped-down copy of anybody or anything, an original idea. Think about that. You are an original. Don't be lazy in your thinking. Don't be a consumer of ideas only. Be a generator. By connection, embracing, love, soulful devotion, and you catch. Sometimes what you catch may scare you. I can't do that. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that. It may scare you. It's impossible. I'm too old. Oh, my body won't do that. You stay with it. Your connection is not with other people and what they think about you. Your connection is with the presence. And this is what the present does. It sends support. It sends individuals that can see the infinite invisible within you. It sends the support that you need based on the frequency that you're holding. But the support can't come unless you're holding the frequency of it. If you denigrate yourself in that sense of separation, then you cut yourself off from all of the love and the beauty that is around you and trying to move through and as you. Say in your own mind, I am an original. I'm not stepped down. I am an original idea held in the mind of the infinite. Feel into that. Don't be content to conspire with mediocrity. Aspire to inspire So that you're not history, you're a history maker. Sounds kind of big. It's not. Again, we're not talking celebrity here. We're talking greatness. What is greatness? You, who you are, being activated and coming into manifestation. You're great because you are in integrity, meaning you are in integrity with your soul. You see? I see you. Let that land. So that you'll walk with your priorities. I'm at one with divine mind, heart. All that I need is within me. I'm connected to the divine presence of God. I'm open to divine wisdom, guidance, and direction and original ideas flowing through me. I have my thought for food, which is what I read and the conversations that I have. I have my food for thought. I have my food, my nutrition. I have my exercise. I have my cleansing. I have my mask as a prophylactic generator that acts as a placebo, protecting me from everything, including droplets. You might have to wear goggles. But if your belief is high enough, it's done into you as you believe. Take a breath here. Release. Breath. Release. Breath. Release. Close your outer eye for just a moment. And just notice two things. Just notice, first of all, how you identify yourself before you walk out of your house. Are you identifying yourself as an original spiritual idea? Or are you identifying yourself with some kind of lack or limitation? And you're going into the world to overcome that sense of lack within yourself. Wrong start. You walk out of the house as a fresh starting point for God to come through. Fresh starting point. 2, identify where you have relegated yourself to mediocrity because you believe you're not good enough, don't have enough, too old, too young, not educated, too educated. I have to say too educated because I was listening to an educated fool speak a few days ago. A person who had degrees, and what they were saying was nonsensical. And they were bragging about their degrees. And I was listening to them talk. And I can remember back in the day, my parents used to say that kind of person was an educated fool because they had limited their paradigm to such a limited degree that they couldn't get any more information in because they knew it all. An educated fool, a know-it-all. So that's why I have to say sometimes too educated, Western education. You have to notice within yourself where you're blocking yourself by saying, I'm not enough this or I'm too much of that. This is where you come into the realm of that which appears to be impossible. You're all right. You're an original idea. Doesn't matter. Whatever the past was. Right now, you're an original idea. The presence of God doesn't know your past, only you do. And you keep bringing it up, showing it to God. Stop it. God sees potential in you. That God is in you sees only potential. Why don't you see it? Why don't you see it? So notice where you're saying, I'm too whatever. You can't do it. Just notice. Now, in this awareness exercise, it's not about guilt or shame or blame. It's just an awareness exercise. And here's how it works. When you become aware of a pattern, your awareness of it starts to take away its power. When you're unaware of it, it is subconscious, but it shows up as your thought, words, and actions. When it's teased into consciousness, that's a part of enlightenment. That's a part of awakening. So as you just become aware, where am I diminishing myself? Where have I said I'm too whatever and can't do it? Where am I identifying myself less than an original idea? You just notice. Just notice. First you just notice. It starts to lose its power. Then we come back to the beginning of the talk. I am. I am a magnificent expression of infinite potential. I am a radiant expression of God Almighty, God all beauty, God all joy. I'm open and receptive to more prosperity than I've ever experienced before. I'm available to more dynamic health and vibratory well-being than I've ever experienced before. I am that I am. You become aware and you shift until you're able to hold that frequency. And you'll discover, whether you're overeducated or undereducated, there is intelligence flowing through you. Intelligence. Intelligence, love, and beauty. Has nothing to do with education. Intelligence. Woo! I'm feeling it here. I want you to feel this with me. Oh, just say it to yourself where you are. Intelligence is flowing through me. Divine intelligence is flowing through me. Like the river rushing downstream, divine intelligence is flowing through me. Divine power is flowing through me. Divine love is flowing through me. Divine abundance and harmonizing prosperity is flowing through me. Divine health is flowing through me. Oh, accept that right now. Hold that frequency. Stabilize yourself around it. And then you'll walk. Oh, I'm getting chills here. You'll walk in the glad surprise. Woo, surprise. Woo, surprise. Woo, surprise. Woo, surprise. And when it starts to happen, don't start to push it away. Don't say, oh, it's no big deal. Say thank you. Say thank you. My whole body is vibrating right now. It's reminding me of a moment I had a number of years ago. And I was working with something. And I had an internal breakthrough. And when I went to sleep that night, I left my body and I was carried through this corridor of light. And these beings started to sing the most beautiful voices. And they were saying, Michael, you are golden. Michael, you are real. Michael, you are golden. Michael, you are real. And I was aware that in that moment, I was in the midst of an initiation of a higher frequency. I want that for you. You got to get down, have devotion, have love, have consistency, have commitment, have intention, and you'll be initiated at higher and higher levels of consciousness. It's not really high or low. That's the way we say it in the Western world. It's really expanded awareness of that which is already here. You're looking, I better stop. I think I'm talking too much. You're looking like life through here. So you don't go high or low. It's just that there's an expansion, you see more. Expansion, you see more. Expansion, you see more. Expansion, you see more. God isn't expanding. You're expanding your awareness to see what's already here. There's so much here. We're teeming with it. Oh, we're teeming with it. And then what happens? You become a conscious celebrant of the divine. You're localizing a cosmic, continual celebration. All of nature, all of the cosmos is celebrating the presence and in gratitude that it gets to participate in the realm of the divine as a manifest expression of God's good in every kingdom of life, from the mineral to the plant, to the animals, to the winged, to the four-legged, to who we are as being able to think independent of circumstances. You become a divine celebrant, you see.